Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Trina Duhart here with a new video for you. Welcome to part 3 of season 2 of What If Uraraka Was an Electromaster. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. So we begin. Sometime later, the three 1A students returned to the stadium. Both Jiro and Todoroki were still shocked after witnessing the drawn-out execution that their classmate had committed. An atrocity in their eyes. But they remained quiet, in fear that if they spoke about it, they would end up suffering a similar fate. As they entered, someone came over to meet them. It was a friendly face. "Are you all okay? What happened?" Izuku asked upon meeting them. "Yeah, we're fine." Jiro was the first to respond. "More or less," Todoroki then said. Most of the rage had exited Railgun. Some of it was still there, though.
"Izuku, I need your help!"
she exclaimed without a second more to spare. His expression turned serious after hearing those words. He knew that something terrible had to have occurred for Ochako to ask for help.
"Some villains took Jen, and we need to save her. Are you in?"
"Of course I am!" With his clenched fist, he replied. He needed no more reason to save a friend in need. Ochako and Izuku split right after. The boy would gather more people while the girls searched for Shokuho. After minutes of searching, the Electromaster couldn't find Mental Out anywhere, and her calls were being sent to voicemail, which worried her. Accepting that Misaki wouldn't be able to assist her this time, she gave up on the search. This time, she would have to assume responsibility for whatever actions she took. On Deku's side, he had assembled a squad to rescue his friend, consisting of Kirishima, Kendo, Jiro, and Todoroki. More of his classmates wanted to join in, but Midoriya refused. If too many of them disappeared, this could raise the alarm to the adults, or even worse, to Aizawa-sensei. Back to Ochako, she had gone to visit Momo at the infirmary. The class president had been healed but was unable to stand up. She was bedridden for the time being. "Forgive me for failing to keep your little sister safe. If I had done better, then none of this would have ever happened," Yaoyorozu cried out, still a bit sedated but quite disappointed at her own failure. Uraraka held her hand tightly. She was still trying to control herself not to worry her friend.
"You did your best and went beyond trying to save her, so don't think less of yourself. You did more than most would even dare to try, and for that, I'm forever grateful. I'm happy that Jinsani has a friend like you in her life. So please, rest here. You've done enough. I'll bring her back no matter what, so sit tight and get better, okay?"
With a hopeful smile, she bid her friend farewell, leaving the infirmary behind. Momo Yaoyorozu broke into tears soon after. Railgun assembled with Deku and the others, quietly leaving the festival without being noticed by the pro-heroes. Shokuho had been requested at a research facility a few kilometers away from the sports festival. In there, she was supposed to be on guard as a wall of defense to stop any intruders from reaching the inner lab. Even then, she felt unneeded as Item had been hired to ensure the operation's success, so having her there was just a ploy to get her away from Railgun. But as she dug deeper into her assignment, she discovered that what was being carried out was a virus installation on Jinsani, Railgun's clone. "I can't let them install it, but if I were to intervene directly, they would become aware of my betrayal. And if that happens, no, I can't let another innocent girl be killed by Garaki's hands." Plans sometimes emerge out of desperation, just like the one Misaki was about to put into motion. "Yo!" Twice exclaimed upon seeing a blonde girl enter the experiment chamber room. "Hey!" she replied with disinterest as she pushed the button of her controller behind her back. She had just altered the grunt's perception so he wouldn't be bothered by her presence, and she had also made him more willing to answer whatever she asked. "So what brings such a cutie like yourself here? You working alongside us?" the masked villain asked. "Damn, though, you're on fire," his other half commented right after. "I was curious about the patient," the girl answered with a fake smile. She was quite disgusted at the fact that this grown man seemed to be hitting on her. Her? She's halfway done according to the doctor, but he's on a break at the moment. I'm her personal guard, so I'm stuck with her until the end." A sigh escaped his mask. If anything, he would like to escape from this claustrophobic place. "Garaki must be communicating with his master to have left the procedure incomplete. That makes my life easier for the time being. Now, how do I get her out of here without ending up Meltdowner's chew toy?" Mental Out began to wager her options within her mind. Something had to line up to let this happen. "Oh, come on, not now. I was about to beat my high score." The sudden whine from Twice made Shokuho look his way. "Rip Flappy Whale," the other half whimpered. "You okay?" "No, my phone battery just died," Twice answered in tears. "And there's nowhere here to charge it." "That's it!" Shokuho immediately took out her controller and took hold of the man's mind, leaving him blank for the moment. I hope this works. Quickly, the starry-eyed teen took the phone from his hand and placed it beside the unconscious clone at the surgical table. This made Jinsani move a bit. She was beginning to wake up. Shokuho commanded the villain to go outside and distract the doctor for as long as possible, the mind probe grunt following her orders and exiting the room as it had been instructed. In the time she had left, she wrote something on a page and ripped it once done, placing it on the girl's hand. For your own good, I hope that you do what I said in there. With that, she exited the room in a hurry. She didn't want to be discovered by the doctor. Don't think that I did this for you, Railgun. The bright lights once more irritated Jen's eyes as she started to regain consciousness once more.
What happened?
She asked and then noticed that she was all alone in the room. A slight headache was present and it made her feel a bit dizzy. As she got up, 10,032 noticed a paper neatly folded inside her right hand. This was rather strange, but she decided to see if it had anything written inside.
There's a phone with no charge beside you. Use it to call your older sister to come get you. Be as quiet as you can while speaking. Whenever you do, don't leave the room, as it could result in your death. Once done reading this, destroy the page. I hope for your safe return to UA.
Upon reading all that, she found the phone near her and then destroyed the page by causing it to burn with a bolt of electricity.
I'm in your debt, mysterious stranger. Now to charge the battery. Concentrate, Jinsani. Concentrate.
Closing her eyes, she began charging the battery carefully until the phone turned on.
Yes, now to call Big Sis.
Thankfully, the phone was fully accessible without a password combination, pattern recognition, or even a finger scan. Whoever owned this phone didn't seem to care for their phone's privacy. Quick typing followed and the call was made.
Pick up, please.
The scared teen cried out. She needed her big sister to answer.
If you're one of the people responsible, be sure that I'll rip your limb from limb. You hear me?
This was loudly heard as the call was picked up.
Sis, it's me.
The now terrified younger sibling whispered, trying desperately to lower the phone's volume.
Jen, are you okay? Are you hurt? Did they do anything to you? Do you know where you are?
The now concerned Ochako asked, so many questions rapid-fired at her little sister.
Please lower your voice. They're gonna notice if you don't.
10,032 pleaded to Uraraka, hoping that this would make the older sibling be a little less loud.
Okay, I will. Thanks, sis. I seem to be in a surgery room with green walls and very intense lights. From what I can tell, I'm fine as I detect nothing wrong with myself besides a slight headache, so I think I'm okay.
Jen quickly answered the questions made prior as best she could.
Thank goodness! Now please stay safe. I tracked your call and I'm on my way. I'll try, and I don't know how much more time I have left before.
The door suddenly opened, and the evil doctor entered alongside the guy from before. You imbecile! Not only did you leave your spot, but you also left your phone in here? Garaki growled at the incompetent assistant he had gotten for this operation. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to me, but I swear my phone was dead. Twice shivered. She's an Electromaster, you reckless buffoon. She can charge batteries by default. The doctor couldn't believe the incompetence displayed by this so-called villain. Restrain her now before our location is found. Got it. This'll be a piece of cake. A short fight ensued as Jinsani tried to fight back, but in her weakened state, she was no match for Twice. The phone dropped on the floor as she lost consciousness.
Jen! Jen!
But no response ever came as someone on the other side hung up. Ochako's electricity went into a rampant state, which only intensified as she activated her rampage threat.
I'm going up ahead!
She shouted at the others. Wait, but how will we know where it is? Kino asked, trying to protect her face from the extreme pressure in front of her.
Oh, you'll know.
And after saying that, she jumped away, deeper into the city. The jump had shattered the place where she was standing prior. I need to hurry, the doctor stated as he began to work on the clone again. Why? We're safe! The clueless lackey exclaimed with a thumbs up. We saved the world, the other half joked. Twice, your quirk may be marvelous, but that brain of yours is beyond saving. Garaki muttered under his breath while in a hurry. He needed to complete the installation as soon as possible. The whole building suddenly shook, almost as if an earthquake was passing by, and then a loud explosion shook the very foundation of the facility. From the outside, Railgun had punched an entire vehicle at full strength toward the building. She was now inside. We've been breached? Cute-eyed Garaki screamed as he desperately connected to items communication devices. As fast as he could, he told the mercenary group to maintain their positions and apprehend the intruders. They were to be killed on sight. The only exception to this was Railgun. He needed her alive. Chizuri Mugino, leader of Items, smirked. This would be her chance to face off against the infamous Railgun brat she had heard so much about. Taking Takutsubo with her, She left her established position to hunt the girl. Sayai Kinihata remained in place. She was the first line of defense, and her offense armor was ultra ready to engage. Meanwhile, Frenda and Toga just remained in place, bored. They were the last line of defense, and knowing Mugino, there wouldn't be anyone reaching this point.
It's not fair that we're stuck back here. I want to slice the intruders!
Toga cried out while playing with her blades. And I want to blow them up, Frenda added as she pulled out some of her skirt rockets.
It's so boring that Goldie Stars disappeared. What's up with that?
Probably a traitor. There's no other reason for her to go off on her own. Not to mention that it didn't take long for this place to be attacked after her sudden departure.
That's so true! Maybe I should go investigate,
the bloodsucker said as she began to run off. Wait, we have to hold down this position! Frenda screamed but never got a response. This is not good. I want to go after her, but if I move from here, Mugino will kill me. Then again, if Himiko is a traitor too, I could score big time. Maybe Mugino will praise me for finding them all. This optimism made the girl with the explosive arsenal ignore all reasons as she too ran off, leaving that spot completely unguarded. Across the dark passageway and into the corridors, Himiko Togo kept on running, expecting to catch up to the rich girl she had met earlier.
How far could she have gone? Well, to pass the time, you must know that we are sponsored by NordVPN. Staying safe online is a hassle. Hackers are always trying to exploit you, and that's talking from experience. NordVPN allows you to change your IP address, making you harder to track and securing your privacy. This alone helps quite a ton when you're part of the underworld, as it provides you safe passage to the web while also expanding the reach of your favorite streaming services. Are you perhaps tired of going through so many streaming services to be able to find your favorite anime? Well, with NordVPN, you can change your country and binge shows like My Villain Academia, Boruto Stab, Nailgun-S, and many others on your favorite streaming service with just a press of a button. With the limited time link in the description, you can get 72% off when buying for 2 years / $30.29 a month. Now that you're well informed, I'd like to thank NordVPN for sponsoring this video.
And as she finished the sponsor message, she spotted her target.
Aha! There you are, traitor!
Toga chuckled. Her blood would taste so good. Misaki was frozen in place as she saw the knife-wielding maniac nearby. How did she figure out that I defected? I covered my tracks! She attempted to pull out her controller, but a knife knocked it out of her grasp. Himiko knew not to underestimate Mental Out's quirk.
Nope, won't let you,
Toga exclaimed as she followed her strike by throwing out more knives. Shokuho tried to dodge the attack, but one of them managed to graze her left shoulder. The mere second she had winced in pain allowed the vampire to close the distance, knocking her down with a headbutt.
I wonder what a traitor's blood tastes like.
Toga was trying to get a good lick at the blonde's wound, but her prey was making it quite hard to do so. Get off! The scream had activated Mental Out's quirk without using the remote. The bloodsucker's brain had been completely taken over, and the poor girl was drooling for the time being as Shokuho tended her shoulder wound just to then get the remote from the floor. You scratched my favorite remote! Her lustrous support item had been left scarred by the knife that had knocked it out earlier. Noticing the drops of blood on the floor and thinking of a way to take revenge, Misaki ordered Toga to stab her own hand with the knife. This way, there would be more blood on the floor, and that combined with some memory alteration could allow her to escape without concern. Toga had just fallen and accidentally stabbed herself with the blade she had in hand. She didn't whine about it. Instead, she pulled it right out and licked her bleeding wound. It tasted so good. We made it, Kirishima announced upon reaching the devastated building with a massive hole at the entrance. Let's hope that she didn't go haywire, Jiro added and plugged her jacks into the wall. Everyone, keep your guard up. Enemy reinforcements could arrive at any minute, Todoroki exclaimed as they all finally slid in. Uraraka? Izuku asked as he thought he saw Nailgun hidden near a container. Ochako took her hand off the floor and ran to meet her classmates.
Good thing you guys made it. This place is massive, and there are a lot of powerful quirk users holding the perimeter.
So it's best if we stuck together? Kendo asked, waiting to see everyone's take on that.
Yep, strength in numbers will have to do. We should only separate if the enemy took too long to take out. Saving Jinsani is our priority, but don't die, okay? If all goes wrong, I want you all to fall back and get out of here. No matter what happens, I'll stay to finish the job.
The team nodded in agreement and began to move in unison. Their objective was at the facility center. Takusubo, get it done. A box of powdered crystals was thrown to Riko, and she caught it. She knew what she needed to do. Okay. With that simple response, she took a dose and was ready to use her overloaded quirk.
Oh shit, get back!
Uraraka screamed as she felt a massive surge of energy nearby. Everyone jumped back, and Ochako stood there and redirected the green beam that had gone through many walls to hit them.
Was that an electron blast?
An array of more beams swept the corridor. Railgun was able to redirect most of them away from her friend, but one had escaped her reach.
Todoroki, move!
But the ice boy wasn't able to react in time, but he was saved by Izuku's right hand, which negated the beam. Thanks, Midoriya. Don't mention it.
I'm sure that I read about this before. Where was it? Wait! No way that this is Meltdowner! I need to get the others out of here! If one of those hits them, they'll die!
Knowing this, she got ready to tell them to fall back, but a stone pillar was thrown right at her, and Kirishima jumped in to block it, taking the hit. Such a weak attack won't break me! The hardened boy shouted. Weak, you say? How about this one for size? A small hooded girl had just appeared in front of the redhead, and she punched his blocking stance, setting him back, crashing to the floor. My arms. Ijiro cried out as he tried moving them. His hardened skin had been peeled clean off at the point of impact. Those tears of yours are ultra adorable. Are you going to get back up? The girl asked as she put her hands inside her hoodie pockets. Todoroki stepped forth and said, How about you try that with me? A brave intruder. That's ultra rare these days. The girl began to walk over without a sense of preservation. She was wide open. Ochako, Kendo, and Jiro, go on ahead! We'll take care of this girl ourselves! Izuku shouted, and the girls listened. There was no time to waste. You're damn right we will! Kirishima commented as he finally got back up. These high schoolers against a 12-year-old. That's quite the ultra plan, the hooded one said out loud. 12-year-old? You have to be joking! Kirishima couldn't believe that a little girl had done so much damage to him. I don't think she is. It doesn't matter. She's our enemy, and we must knock her out. Midoriya took the lead by rushing the girl, knowing that his right hand could negate whatever quirk she had only made it easier on him. The greenette unleashed a fury of blows, but the girl dodged them with utter ease. You're ultra slow. Are you holding back because I'm a girl? Of course not! Ah! Deku had been hit in the stomach by one of her small punches, and this made him collapse on his knees. The boy tried to hold it in, but he ended up puking his lunch alongside with some blood. Our orders were for us to dispose of you, so holding back against me is not advised. Either way, you three will be ultra dead when I'm done with you. After announcing this, she went for a kick on the downed boy, but he managed to block it just in time with his right hand. It felt so weak, like the kick of a small child. All that power that she had demonstrated earlier was no longer there. Impossible! His hand should be ultra broken after my attack. He might have a quirk that allows him to tank hits on his arms. That could be it, but it doesn't correlate at all. My offense armor dispersed for an instant once he blocked my foot, and that should not be possible. Taking out the other two first should take priority. As for the one with green hair, I should avoid his arms at all cost. Right after formulating her strategy, she jumped back and got into a different stance. She was ultra serious now. Since your time left is minimal, I shall tell you my name, so you remember it in your final moments. I'm Saiai Kinuhata, your worst nightmare. 3 of the targets are still moving south. They're approximately 530 meters away from our current position. Tatsutsubu relayed to Mugino, but she began feeling woozy. She was starting to reach her limit. Get back to the convoy. I'll handle the rest. Meltdowner told her as she handed the keys. Thanks. That girl was able to bend away my beams with ease. Not even one of them came close to grazing her. Close quarters may be the best alternative to remedy that. Plus, I'll be the one to cash in the bonus if I bring her alive. Just you wait, Railgun. You'll be paying for my next vacation. There's one person that's coming from that way. After telling her friends this, Jiro retracted her jacks off the floor.
You don't have time for another fight.
Ochako clenched her teeth. More delays could mean her sister's death. Kendo began saying, but Kyoka got in the way. No, I'll stay. You two keep going.
Are you sure about this? If they're too strong, you could...
I know. Knowing that someone depends on our success only propels me to take this decision. I already failed her earlier, and I don't plan on doing so again. So please, leave this to me. Jiro's racing heart was more than ready to put it all on the line. Her mistake would be rectified even if it was the last thing she did. Uraraka accepted her decision with some hesitation, but then hugged her. She appreciated her sacrifice.
Good luck.
Ochako and Kendo kept running across the dark place, getting ever closer to Jen's location. But at one point, the Electromaster moved her hand forward to stop her friend.
Brenda's here.
Once more, those creepy dolls had returned to haunt her vision.
There's a bunch of booby traps here. Explosive ones. See that doll? It most likely has a bomb inside of it. We need to proceed with caution.
I have a better idea. One B's big sister shouted and expanded her hand, grabbing the doll and throwing it far away where it exploded.
What's wrong with you? You could have gotten hurt!
The hot-tempered girl screamed. Yeah, but by doing this, we might attract the person who placed them here. So let me do this while you go ahead. It's the least I can do to buy you some time. Itsuka explained and stood firm. She believed in this strategy.
Fine, but be careful, okay? Although briefly, I did face the person who planted these here, and she's a menace. Do not let your guard down.
Nailgun warned. I won't. With a smile, she responded, getting ready to cause some more of those bombs to detonate. Just a little more until the emergency exit. Shokuho was almost dead by now. All the sprinting had left her worse than when she had participated in the obstacle race. A sudden movement nearby made her fall back, and she almost had a heart attack upon seeing what appeared to be a demon in front of her. But once her vision cleared, she saw that it was only Nailgun pointing her signature move at her.
Shokuho, what are you doing here?
It's a long story, but it will have to be for another time. Trying to gather some air, she breathed in more and then exhaled.
You're hurt! Come with me! Once we get my sister, I'll get someone to treat you.
Shokuho had been a great help to her for a while now, so even though they weren't friends, she still cared. I will not accompany you. I have something that I need to do. Something that only I can do, so please, let me go. That's all I ask. Cleaning away her sweat, Misaki internally stared at her rival. If anyone could understand how she felt at this precise moment, it was her. Taking a deep breath, Ochako thought about those words. They were minor images of those she had said not long ago.
It's all right. Keep going. Just don't die while you're at it.
I'm not you, so I should be fine. Shokuho joked as a final taunt. Perhaps this would be the last time they met.
Fuck you too, Shokuho. Fuck you too.
In a playful manner, she cursed as she saw her leave. It felt a bit saddening if she were honest with herself.
The room's up ahead! Kinsani, I'm coming!
The virus has been installed. Garaki celebrated proudly. He had succeeded. Great! Now I just need to take her measurements and we'll be done! Twice added as he pulled out his measuring tape from his wrist. The room lights began to flicker right after, and in an instant, the doctor had been shot in the head with a nail, but he dissolved into a brown puddle. What the hell? Am I in a horror film? Time to die! 2 consecutive shots were executed, and they went through both of Twice's wrists. The poor man cried out in pain as his hands were now hanging from his flesh. Most of the rest had been annihilated. More nail guns were fired, and they pinned the victim to the wall. This was the beginning of the end for him. In a flash, Ochako appeared in front of him and stomped his chest with her foot. I give up! Twice cried, begging for mercy, but his other half would soon betray him. You'll never take me alive! It screamed, which raised the Electromaster on top of him. A sadistic smile formed on that round face of hers, and electricity coursed through her body rapidly.
I know.
He chuckled and shot a full-power nail gun into his skull, blowing his entire head away. The body collapsed, and only a big void-like hole remained where his head had been placed before. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in all this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. If you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials has you covered. Our We the Celestials, My Hero Academia, and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their names again and made with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Now on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in today's excellent content production. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, I'd like to extend an invitation to join the team. The only caveat is that we only accept members from 16 years old to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fills your interest by joining the crewman Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching and have a great day. Uraraka had taken her sister out of the room, and she ran as fast as possible with her rampage dress activated. Finding her friends and getting out of there were the new priorities. An explosive rocket destroyed her momentum though, and she was forced to stop. We meet again, Nailgun! This time I won't let you escape! The same blonde from way back, friend of Sebulin, was ready for round 2.
Shit! I can't fight and keep Dinsani safe at the same time!
Both girls stared each other down until someone grabbed Brenda from behind. A familiar face made her grand entrance.
Gotcha!
Oh no! Let me go, Himiko!
Tilda!
Uraraka cried out in happiness once more. Her friend had assisted in dealing with the petite blonde.
Get going, Coco! Escape with your
And she stopped. 3 beams of green energy had sliced her apart alongside the girl she was holding. All 3 sections of her body soon collapsed in different directions. Toga's head had rolled over to Nailgun. It was lifeless, and a lot of blood was now covering the floor. So, Item had an infiltrated double agent, eh? Good work, Frenda. You were useful for once in your shitty life. And now it's time for us to fight, Nailgun. Show me what the fuss is about. Shizuri Mugino, the Meltdowner, was ready for a battle to the death. The blood of her kills pooled around her heels, and not a simple drop of regret was in sight. With pride and a sadistic smile, she looked forward to this encounter more than anything in the past decade.